Hey guys. Oh, I forgot to turn on my light real fast. Let me do that. Haha. Hey guys, I'm Ray and we are streaming blacksmithing. So today we are going to be starting our eye project. So not these kind of eyes, but like an eye because SMI, Smithy. So we're gonna do some twisting today. So I've cut us 4 pieces of 5/8 inch square stock. Yes, this is square stock. Uh, and we are going to do several different types of twists. We're going to start with a regular twist, and then we're going to move on to more and more complicated twists as we go. We'll see how many of them we can get done in our stream time. But like I said, I have 4 twists prepped, and hopefully we can get through all of them today. So welcome in, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. I hope you guys have been having a great day already, and I hope that, it just gets better. So, most of our work today is not going to be on the anvil, it's going to be on the vise. So I've set up the camera so that you guys can kind of see the vise a little bit better. And I also twisted it a quarter turn so that I have a better camera view for you guys. So you can kind of see these twists. So I'm really excited about that. And let's see if I can get through things today. So first things first, let's start the forge. And unfortunately, I forgot to change my propane because I have a brand new one sitting right there. So I'm going to actually start this by changing our propane just to make sure that we don't have to do it in the middle of our stream today. So I'm going to use, I guess, this guy. And we are going to change the propane real fast. Goodness gracious. First, we're going to turn this off. Close the propane. Always make sure you close the propane so that way you don't have propane everywhere, leaking everywhere. There we go. Oh, wow, this one's actually pretty heavy, so maybe I'll just keep this one. This is really heavy, so I think I couldn't remember if I had recently changed it or not, so it sounds like I have. That's really heavy. That's a pretty full container, so I'll use this guy, and hopefully we won't have to change it. It's been kind of crazy this week because there we go. Last week I didn't get to do very many streams, and the week before as well. I didn't really get to do a lot of streaming. So I'm really glad to be back in the shop, but I also forgot how much propane I actually had. So yeah. Welcome in, Crack Rooksteady. Propane in the membrane. Exactly. Propane. All right, so we're going to start up this forge. Actually, you know what? I'm going to wait until this ad is done. I just noticed that there is an ad. So I will wait until that is over, and then I will start up the forge so that you guys all get to see the big boom. That happens every time I start the forge. I have my water set up on the table that I have my laptop on today because I don't want it to spill when I'm doing these twists. So it's going to be weird going in and out of frame while I'm looking for my drink. So, oh, I don't even have my apron on. Man, I am so disorganized today. Like I said, it's kind of been crazy. I've already gotten quite a lot done today. I cut the 4. Oops, that's backwards. I cut the 4 pieces of stock, and I did a few things around the house that needed to be done. I changed the I exchanged a propane. Man, it's been a day already. So hopefully I can get through the entire day without getting too wound down, or run down, I guess is a better way to say that. So yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy to be here. Yesterday I filmed the second half of our uh, dressing hammers video. I dressed a 2-pound forging hammer, and I accidentally, I got a grinder bite. So that's why I've got this lovely orange Band-Aid here. It's a danger of the job. It's gonna happen, or I guess a risk of the job maybe. It's very rare that I'm doing large amounts of work on the bench grinder where I don't get a grinder bite. It's just so easy because the wheel just keeps spinning so fast, and even when I turn it off, the grinder wheel keeps on spinning until it spins itself out. So yeah, that's why I have this lovely orange Band-Aid. It's kind of pretty. I like it. I've got this new set of Band-Aids, and they're like neon colors. So like today I have neon orange, and then yesterday when I initially did it, I had like a really bright, pretty blue Band-Aid, and that was pretty nice. It's very fashionable. So yeah, it looks like the ad is done. So I am going to start up the forge, and there we go. I got some fire. Let's start up this forge. Oh wait, looks like I pushed my brick up, and that was because I needed the extra space for that M. So let's move that before I start it. All right. There we go. All nice and started. Oh, lovely. Today is an amazing and great day. I'm so happy to be here. Twisky, thank you so much for that follow. I very much appreciate that. Welcome to the community. All right, so I am going to heat 1 piece of the 4 pieces that I put together. I think I put away my tongs, so I will grab my set of tongs so that I can do this. So we're going to heat up this material. All right. And I'm going to put on my headphones so that I can hear myself think. The forge gets really, really loud in here. I've got, on my microphone, I've got a noise cancellation effect going, so you guys don't have to hear quite as much of the forge noise as I do. So that's why I get the lovely headphones. All right. So today we are doing some twists, and we are starting with 6 inches of 5/8 inch stock. And you know what? I'm totally going to start recording because I forgot to hit my record button. Here we go. So today we are going to be starting twists. We are going to have, I'm planning on doing 4 different twists. The first one is going to be a regular twist. So we're just going to heat up the steel. We're going to take it to the vise, and with the wrenches, we are going to do just a regular clockwise twist. So it's just going to be turning just like so. And we're going to spin it a couple times until we're happy with it. And then we'll be done with that twist. Our next twist is going to be a little bit more complicated. That is going to be what I like to call a fluted twist. And so what you do with a fluted twist is you take the bar and you actually put a cut down the length of the bar on all 4 sides before you do the twist. So I am going to use a tape measure to kind of give myself a guideline, and then we're going to cut these grooves in with the angle grinder for the second one. For the third one, we are going to be doing a pineapple twist, which is it's a much more complicated twist. So what we're going to do with that one is we're going to do the same groove cut down the length of the bar, and then we're going to do that twist. And once that twist is complete, we are going to square up the bar again. So we'll heat it up and we'll use the forge to square up that bar again. And then from there, we're going to put another groove all the way down the length. And then we're going to untwist it. And it's going to create little diamond shapes in it. And it's going to look like a pineapple. So that'll be our third twist. And if we have time, we're going to do a fourth twist. And the fourth twist that I'm planning on doing is called, it has 2 names. The name that I learned it first with was a Rubik's Cube twist. And I've also heard it called a stair twist. So basically, we put that line on all 4 of the sides again. And instead of twisting it, we also put horizontal lines along the corner on 2 different sides. So we put them on one corner and then the complete opposite corner. And so that makes little tiny cubes. And so when it twists the bar, each of those the cubes start sticking out of the bar, and it kind of makes a little staircase going up. So those are the 4 bars, or the 4 twists that I want to do today, if we have time for them. And then once we're done with all 4 twists, I'm going to have you guys vote on which one you would like to be the eye in the Raise Smithy sign. And so I will post a poll, and you guys can tell me what you want, what you'd like to see up there. And so I'm pretty excited about today. It's going to be a really interesting day. Twisting is a relatively easy blacksmithing project, and you often use a twist to decorate another project. So that's kind of the idea here. We're just doing very basic blacksmithing projects for each of the letters within the sign that I'm trying to make. So that's kind of what we're doing today. So I think I have everything all nice and set up. I just bought some brand new cutter discs for my angle grinder. And so yeah, I'm pretty excited. I hope you guys are too. All right. So I gotta wait for that bar to heat up. So a few things that are going on in the world of Raise Smithy. Like I said, I just finished up yesterday. I just finished up filming a new video. It's not going to come out this week. It'll come out next week. It is the second part of our dressing hammers video. The first part of that comes out on Wednesday, so look for that on YouTube on Wednesday morning at about 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, US. And then, let's see. So then a week from that Wednesday will be the part 2 that I just finished filming yesterday. In other news, on the 1st through the 4th, there is a blacksmithing conference in Missouri that I'm going to be attending. So my partner just got the time off, so we're starting to get everything together so that we can go out there. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to stream some, but if we're not able to stream, then we'll definitely be posting videos about that conference on the YouTube channel. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. I'm hoping to see, you know, some really amazing blacksmiths out there, some really local ones, and I'm really excited. Let's see. What else is going on? I am apparently smacking my hammer as I'm passing it, so yeah. So it looks like the stream is actually holding out pretty well. I'm really happy about that because I've had some really awful internet lately, and I think they finally fixed it. When I did my speed test, it was really high. It was over 100 bits per second. So we shouldn't have any interruptions in the stream. So I'm really excited about that as well. Let's see. So like I said, we are continuing with our Ray Smithy sign project. I'm in the process of ordering some LED strips for the top, the rays part. We had designed a rectangular light sign, so it's going to say Ray in negative letters, and we're going to have LEDs that we put on the back of that sign so that we can change the color. And I've got to talk to Kiri about how, because apparently she's got some colored LED lights that she allows you guys to take control of the color. So I think that would be really, really cool to do. So I'll have to figure out a way to kind of like figure out how to do that, to program those lights correctly. Let's see, how's our metal doing? It's still a little on the cooler side, but it's starting to get there. So because we're doing a twist, we want it to be nice and hot, and that way it will move very smoothly and we won't have to crank on it nearly as hard. So I think I'm going to take this piece because it's the same size bar, and I'm going to I'm going to size up the crescent wrench to the bar of material so that way I don't have to do it while I have the hot material out. All right, so it looks like it slips on there pretty easily, but it's gonna move that metal. All right, so let's see. I am gonna start up the other camera real fast. And then I'm going to show you guys. Whoops, you know what? I forgot to do that, and I need to do that. Okay, so there's that. And I think I might need to do that on that one, but that's all right. Okay, so if I do that, you guys can now see the post vise. Okay, so what we're gonna do with this post vise with the hot metal is basically we're going to take our hot metal and we are going to clamp it in this vise. So it's going to be just like so. And then we've got these two lovely crescent wrenches here. And we are going to affix them on either side of this bar, like so. And then we are going to use them to kind of twist this bar around. So we're going to go clockwise. So we'll twist this direction. And that will twist the hot bar. So that's a cold run of what we're planning on doing. And let's see, if I do an inset, is that going to be a better inset? Maybe if I make it a little bit smaller. I think you guys should be able to see. Okay, that's not in focus, is it? Is it in focus? I can't see. It's really little. All right. Yeah, I think it'll be all right. Okay. I think we're ready to go. I think you guys will be able to see pretty well. So yeah, if you guys have any problems seeing, let me know. I will, do my best to adjust and make sure that you guys can see everything pretty well. Okay. Let's see, is the bar hot enough? It's getting there. It's getting real close, but it's not quite ready. Soon, though. And I might just take it out a little bit early just to make sure that, I can start moving that material. I want to make sure that we get as many of these twists done as possible. So this first one should be really, really easy to do. Okay. I've got one more thing I gotta grab real fast, or I guess two more things. I need my soapstone and my tape measure. So this is a soapstone, and it's basically, this is how you write on metal. And then I've got my tape measure. It's a US or English standard tape measure, with inches and feet. Unfortunately, we're not doing things in centimeters and meters. It's so much easier to do that, but I just don't have the equipment right this second. So instead, unfortunately, we have to use, imperial standard. All right. So I don't know, maybe I don't want to put these there for now. They'll probably fall off is my problem. They'll probably fall off while I'm twisting the bar. So I'll put them there for now. I'm going to take a drink real fast. And then once I'm finished taking this drip or this sip of water, I'm going to go into the forge and we're going to start our first twist. Alrighty. Let's attempt this. If I do this and then I do that, theoretically, it should be good to go. So now you guys should be able to see me in the little box while I'm moving around. Okay. We've got our material. It's all nice and hot. And now we're going to twist it. Twist it clockwise. Or I guess we're going to have to heat it up again. We're having a little bit of trouble. It's not quite as hot as I need it to be. So I'm going to take this back to the forge and we'll heat it up just a little bit further. I hope you guys were able to see that. I think maybe if I move the camera just a little bit further towards the forge, it might be a little bit better. So you guys don't need to see quite as much of the hammer rack as you guys are seeing. So I think that should be a better view. There we go. So hopefully it'll be a little bit better. Maybe not. I'll have to look at it in a few. So the bar is heating up again, and we're going to continue twisting here shortly. So I'm pretty happy with the way that the vise is currently. My floor is really uneven, so there's like a lot of like little divots in the floor and kind of like bumps up. I don't know why, but this floor in the shop isn't level. And so when I turned the vise, I was afraid that it would kind of like wobble or tip. And it seems like it's doing all right. while I'm doing this twist. That's the hardest part, is making sure that the vise isn't taking that kinetic energy that I need for the twist. So while we're waiting for that, what I'm going to do is I am going to take I'm going to use this table here. I'll trade these guys over here, and I'll move this over here using this. And okay, so now you guys, there's a table right there, so I'm gonna, let me see about moving that down so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing there. So if I take this, I like to use the 1 inch instead of the little hooky when I'm doing measurements. And the reason I like to do that is because the little hook, it moves around a little bit. So it's a lot better if I do it at the 1 inch mark. So now I'm kind of finding the center of this bar, and I'm putting in a mark so that I know exactly where to cut this bar. And I'm going to do that on all 4 sides. And the soapstone kind of leaves a residue so that I can see. And now that I've got those all denoted, I can take a second bar and line it up on these little marks, the little marks there, and I can make sure that that line is nice and straight. And unfortunately, I'm right-handed, so this bar is kind of blocking your view. But if you can kind of see it now that I've got all of those there, it's just like so. So this bar is all nice and denoted so that we will be able to cut those grooves in. For our next fluted twist. And it looks like our bar is nice and hot. So I'm gonna redirect the second camera again so that you guys can kind of see that when I'm doing the twist. Alrighty, so here we go. I think it'll be all right because everything that's happening is happening on this end of the bar. as I struggle getting it out of the forge. There's that. And once again, we're going clockwise. If I can make this work. There we go. That's much better. Leave that up top. Move the arms. Or I guess I could just do it this way. It's probably going to be better this way. And I am going to clean this bar off a little bit. This is kind of a thicker bar, so it's going to take a little bit of extra effort to get that to move properly. So that is why it's taking me a little bit extra time to twist the whole bar. But yeah, we're going to do one more twist. That is a full twist. Christy East, welcome in. Hello. Glad you could make it. So I am going to line a second bar because we're going to need to do all three of our secondary or our other bars. We're going to have to use the angle grinder to cut them all. So what am I doing? I'm not sure what I'm doing. I was going to turn it off. That's what I was going to do. I don't need to record just yet. There we go. Much better. All right, so we're going to stick these over here. And I'm going to line this bar again. So this time I'm picking the 4 just so that I can set this here and have it not go anywhere. While I'm doing this. There we go, one side. Stay. Because we're going to need to cut each of these bars on each side partially through. Not all the way through, only part of the way through. So we're just making a groove. On this. So it's going to just be another little element of decoration. And this is going to be for that fluted twist that I told you guys about. We're going to do one more, and then we're going to, or one more set of denotations, and then we will draw those straight lines, and then from there, what we're going to do is we are going to continue with that twist. Hey, Ping, how are you today? Welcome in. Oops. We are doing twists today. So I have 3 different twists that we're gonna do, and if you give me just a second to finish this up, I will explain everything that we're doing. I have a thing that I gotta do real fast with the camera though. Give me just 1 second. This is probably gonna be a little bit weird and awkward looking. I just wanna format my card real fast and it should be all right. Maybe it's not blinking. I think it's blinking out. Hopefully that's all right. All right. Okay. Sorry about that. There we go. Okay. So today we are doing twists. We are going to be doing 4 different twists. The first twist that we're going to be doing is a regular twist. So I'm taking the bar and I'm sticking it in the vise, and we're just doing a clockwise twist. Right now we have 1 twist done. We're going to do 2 times all the way around. So if a single twist is 360 degrees, we're going 720. And that's what we're in a clockwise direction. So we're doing that basic twist. For our second twist, I have marked all 4 sides of these bars with a straight line. And we are going to take the angle grinder and a cutter disc, and we're going to cut grooves into these bars. And then once we've cut these grooves into the bars, we are going to twist it all the way around, and that's going to be a fluted twist. So these little extra lines are more decoration. It's going to give us a neat effect. For our third twist. For our third twist, I have marked a second bar, and we are going to use the angle grinder to groove this bar as well. And then when we twist this, we are going to actually go back and square it back off. And then we're going to create more grooves with straight lines, and then we're going to untwist it. And that's going to give us a pineapple twist. So it's going to give us little diamond shapes all along the sides of the bar. And that's going to be an interesting look for our twist. And our fourth bar, we're going to do with this last piece of steel. And we are going to continue the grooving each side with the angle grinder. And instead of doing anything, or like just to give us a little bit more challenge, we are actually going to cut little horizontal nicks in each of the corners. So one side or one corner, and then the opposite corner. And what that's going to do is, as we twist this bar, each of those little square blocks is going to twist along, and it's going to create a spiral staircase. And so this twist is called a Rubik's Cube twist or a stair twist. It's got 2 names. So that's what we are doing today. Or at least I hope that's what we're doing today. I'd like to get all 4 of them done. Once we get all 4 of them done, I will put up a poll, and you guys can vote on which one you prefer. So either, the regular twist, the fluted twist, the pineapple twist, or the Rubik's Cube / staircase twist. And then that's what's going to come over here onto our Smithy sign and make the eye. So we've got a nice capital I with a really pretty twist in it. So I'm going to put these guys back over here. So I'm hoping that we are able to get all 4 of these done today. If we don't get all of them done, that's all right, as long as we get a couple of them done. We will still do the poll on which one you guys would like on the top, on the sign. And yeah, so we're focusing on twisting today. So let's do the twist. Okay, So I need to do one more time over with the regular twist. I wanted it in that direction. Is it in? Yes, it is in focus. Cool. All right. Yep, we are doing the twist. All right. So we've got ourselves, I think that's actually a twist and a half. But I think it's all right. So we've got this lovely twist going. Pretty happy with it. So I am going to clean it off. And there you have it. That is our first twist. Okay. So I'm going to put this guy back in the forge, and what we're going to do with it is I'm going to go back with the rawhide mallet, and we're going to kind of straighten it out. It's got a little bit of a bow in it, and I want to make sure I take that out. Let's see, this can go down there. So I've got my angle grinder here, and this is a 10-pack of cutter discs. These are steel cutting discs. So you know what? I left my multi-tool in the house. Dang it. I need to go grab it real fast. All right, so what I'm going to do, I will be gone for less than a minute. I'm going to turn on my Twitch application, if I can get it to turn on, because I'm a smart and empowered lady and whatnot. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to take let's see, where is it? All right, so I have the stream manager going on with my I have a stream manager going on with my phone, so I will be able to see you guys' chat. That way, in case something happens, you guys can let me know. And I'm going to go grab my multi-tool. Okay, and I am back. We're going to end that for the moment. So a long time ago, I lost the key to my angle grinder. So I need the multi-tool to get it out, or get my bits off. All right, whoops. I dropped. Oops, that's backwards. There it goes. Stick that there and that there. Alrighty. Cutter disc. I'll put those there for now. I have a place to put those, but it's not available to me right this second. So now we're gonna load this up. And then tighten it up. All right. Done with that. Plug this guy in over here. And this guy is ready to go when I am ready to groove out the next piece. Okay, what's the next thing I have to do? I have to grab my rawhide hammer, and I'll put this there for the second. So this hammer is a rawhide hammer, and it's made of rawhide. It's very similar to like dog bones and things like that, but this guy, it's a nice hammer, and it won't mar all of the corners of the very nice twist that I just did. So this is going to straighten us out without damaging that twist. If I can get it out of the forge, that is. All right. And if we look down that twist, we can see it's all nice and straight. So lovely twist. And I am going to quench it off in the quench bucket. Twist number 1. So we're going to start working on twist number 2. All right. Okay. So for twist number 2, like I said, we need grooves. I'm going to take the angle grinder and I'm going to cut those lines that we just put in with the chalk. But every time I use a angle grinder or a cutter or anything like that, I always want to use my mask, my dust mask. You've only got one set of lungs. Might as well keep them nice. Okay, so we've got the angle grinder and we've got the line that we're gonna cut. And I think I'm actually gonna do it that way this time. That way you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. And so you can see I cut that groove right in there. So now we're going to do the rest of the sides. The same way. It's starting to get pretty warm in here now. Alrighty. Or I guess I should probably actually show you that a little bit easier. All right, so as you can kind of see, each side has its own little groove. And you'll be able to see that in the twist. Ooh, it's getting really warm in here. Between the weather, the angle grinder, and the forge itself. It's really warm in here. All right. We've been streaming for about an hour, so that's pretty good. We probably won't get to every single twist today, but we'll probably get a good amount into them. I'm hoping that we get them all done. We've gotten quite a bit of the work done already, so yeah. All right. Still kind of hot. I'm gonna quench this guy again. All right. still a little steamy. But yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with this one. I mean, I think it'll look really nice up here, like so. It's a little on the thick side, but it's only like, you know, an eye, so it's gotta have a little bit of weight to it, right? It can't be quite as thin. All right, so we're gonna take this bar and we're going to put the denotation lines on it as well. So I'm gonna hang that one over there for the moment, and then put these guys over here. These twists take a lot more tools than some of the other jobs that we've been doing. Okay. Like I said, I never want to use the little tabby when I am measuring things. I mean, it's all right when it's but it moves. It's all right when you have a little bit of leeway, but with this you want to get right directly in the middle, so it's a lot more important that I actually use like one of the other numbers. So I'm going to use probably the 3-inch mark, so that I can make sure that I get the center of these marks. The center of these bars, sides. So I feel like I'm going a little bit faster today than I normally would, and it's giving me a little bit of less time to like talk to you guys. I feel like I'm doing a lot of teacher and a lot less, you know, have fun and enjoy myself while I'm blacksmithing. Because I feel like I really want to get all of these done. And there's just a little bit of extra labor that I've got to do for each of these guys. And I need a straight edge, but I don't want to mark up the one that I have already. I guess I'll do it anyway. All right, so all of them are all nice and marked up, and we'll be ready to put the grooves in each and every one of them. So I'm going to put these down here so I don't lose them, I think. Or maybe I'll hit them over there on my desk. Still having fun? Well, I'm glad you're still having fun, Ping. I don't know, maybe it's just that I feel a little less entertaining, maybe? I don't know. I feel like I'm being very informative. It's very much a how it's made as opposed to let's talk and, you know, relax while doing some fun things. But it's all right. All right, this is finally cool enough for me to touch. So yeah, I'm really thrilled by this guy. Crack Rock Steady. Today in Ray's Smithy, we make decorative concussion Churros, exactly. I mean, we would definitely, make some concussions if you hit someone in the head with them. But they also feel so good in your hand too. A lot of people will use like just these basic twists like this, and they'll use them for handles of like fire pokers and things, or they feel really nice in your hand. And I know I'm totally using like a fencing grip with this. I feel like I could just like it's about the right weight too for fencing. And I know that's kind of weird to say, but it's really nice. I like it. It fits my fingers very well. So I'm pretty happy with this first concussive Chiro, as we're calling them. Okay, so our next piece of material is beautifully hot. So I'm gonna start on this next. Okay, I have no idea why, but it seems like my stream is relatively good as far as FPS and whatnot, but my OBS seems to be like dropping chat a little bit. So if I've missed your stuff, or if I've missed any of your comments, I apologize greatly for that. Um, like I said, it seems like, I'm not dropping any frames or anything, and we're not getting any lag, but the chat is dropping a little. That's weird. Okay. Let's see. I think I've got plenty of time to do this. Okay. Oh, and we are already recording, so I'm going to split that clip and start a new clip. All right. Seems fine, and you're still in line with what's posted. That's good. I'm glad, because the other day, what was it, Wednesday of last week? I think I have like 6 VODs from that day, and they're like 22 seconds each or something. And that's kind of obnoxious. I don't really want to have especially that many splits in the VOD, if I can manage it. Okay, so I think I'm going to go with that. No, I want this side this time. I think that's right. Yes, it is. Evening, Ferris Games. Welcome in. We are doing twists, and you are just in time for a twist, except I'm going to wait a little bit. I'm actually going to wait a little bit because we're about to hit a ad, and I want to make sure that I've got that full twist in there. Hey, chat. Yes. So I'm really excited to be here and streaming, and I'm glad that you guys are all here and joining me. So we are working on the I for our Raise Smithy sign. Right now, we have a questionable display of S and M. I think I need another letter up there so that, it's I am without reproach as far as my letters. I think right now I can argue that they're just initials, SM, but yeah. I think it needs an I, and then it can be SMI, So on Wednesday, today is Monday, so the next time I stream is Wednesday. So Wednesday, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a Frederick's Cross. So what that is it is a cross. So we're going to turn that cross into a T. And it's basically unfolding metal cuts. So we're going to do some vertical and, well, they're all vertical, but we're going to do some splits on a piece of stock, and we're going to unfold those splits into a cross. Then we're going to hang it up as our T. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then Friday, we're going to do the H, and that one might take us 2 days. I'm not entirely sure. There is a chance that it will take us 2 streams, because basically what we're going to be doing for the H is we're going to be doing a mortise and tenons. And so mortise and tenons is basically, I take the two uprights, so like the two uprights of the H, and we're going to be punching and drifting a hole through the center of each of those. And then we're going to be taking a middle pinion, and we are going to create the rivet side, not the head, but like the rivet section of a rivet on the end of that, or each end of that middle section. And we're going to stick each of the uprights on the sides, and we're going to hammer them in and rivet it. So that's mortise and tenon. So that is our H project. Rec Book Steady, welcome in. I think I said that already, but also welcome in. Everyone, welcome in. But yes, I'm glad you guys are all here today. My microphone is being weird, so I'm sorry if there's like a weird like muffling. All right. So it looks like the ad is done, so I'm going to start that twist now. We've got lots and lots of heat, and I think we should be ready to go. I'm going to put these over here so that I have them all ready to go. And I waste less heat. And then I'm going to struggle getting it out of the forge, right? That's what we do. Okay. All right, we're going to do another clockwise turn because it's nice and even. Stay. So that is almost a full twist. So I'm going to heat it up again for a second round, and we are going to clean off some of the scale. And as it cools, you can kind of see that fluting that's created by that groove that we cut in here. So you can kind of see that like nice line. So I want to go one more turn clockwise, and we'll be done with this turn, or with this one, or this twist. I think that's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I think it looks very nice. Very, very nice. Okay. So we are halfway done with twist number 2. So that's very exciting. We should have plenty of time for twist number 3. So do you guys want to see the pineapple twist, or would you rather see the Rubik's Cube / staircase? We will probably have time for both, but I'm not sure, like for sure. I will do my best with it, but they're starting to get a little bit more complicated. I'm thinking that I'm going to do the pineapple twist first. But if you guys would rather see the Rubik's Cube twist or the staircase twist, let me know in the comments, and I will, take that under advisement. This stream is mine, but it's you guys' too. My apron has a knot in it. It started to untie, and then I tried to retie it, and then I like screwed it up pretty bad. So many choices. Yes, exactly. So far, I think I actually like the fluted one better than the original one, but I mean, there's more decoration to it. So yeah, I think honestly, I think my favorite is gonna change every twist that we complete because I just like I just like twists, and the more complicated, the more enjoyable they are for me. I think they're so pretty. They make such great decorations. Um, let's see. Are we hot enough? We're almost hot enough. Almost there. So I am going to put these guys over here again so that they're ready to go. Oh, goodness. And so our next twist, we're going to, like I said, we're going to start with the angle grinder again. We're going to put those lines in each of the four sides. And then we're going to heat that up. We're going to do it. So it's like an expansion of the fluted twist that we're doing. So we do the same thing for the first one as the second one, and then we do the same thing for the second one as the third one, right? Okay, let's do this. It looks like it is no longer in focus, so let me make sure that that's in focus again. I want to make sure we've got this in focus. Come on. It does not want to focus for me. Come on. If I move it, will it focus? No. It's being dumb now. It wants to focus on that door. Sorry for making it be all dizzy-fied. I'm sorry. There it goes. Much better. Okay, so everything should be ready to go for our next twist. There's that. Trade these out. Oh, I need to go back a little bit so that it's nice and lined up. Alrighty. So there is our second twist. And as you can see, there's like a little bit of a profile difference between the two. You can kind of see it's a lot smoother on the regular twist, and those cuts, the relief cuts that we added in there, have actually modified the profile in between the two, or in between the corners. So that's why it's so cool. Back in the forge we go. And once again, we are going to use the rawhide mallet to flatten that. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I am going to put the grooves in the next one. All right. And I've got my lovely face mask on. All right. Now we've got the grooves for our third. Good to go. All right. I'm pretty sure that we're ready. Oh, wait, you know what? I'm a dummy. I forgot what I was doing for half a second. And you know what? I probably should have gone to the vise for those grooves. I apologize for that. See if I can get this out of the forge. It's caught on my brick. Okay. So we're taking Okay. And if we look down the center, it's nice and straight. So this is our second twist. I think a twist and a bend together can look real nice too. It really can. So if you can kind of see that, that is our second twist, a fluted twist. Twist number 2. Dropping things. Okay, so let's put twist number 3's steel in the fire. See if I can't make sure that this brick isn't being stupid. There we go. I think a twist and a bend together can look real nice. I think so too. A twist and a bend can look really nice. You know what? Coal or like black metal. It's the most dangerous thing in the shop. I did not actually burn my finger, but it was definitely hot. So yeah, some of the things that I've done really are like with twists. I have had some bends in there. They've been really interesting to look at. So a really good one that works very well with bending is when you tack 4 pieces of square bar together on the ends, and then you twist the whole conglomeration all the way out, and then you can twist it out, and then you kind of make a basket, and that's what it's called. It's called a basket twist, and those look really good with the bends that you add into them. I sliced my little finger to the bone with a knife the other day. Complacency kills in the forge. I know the feel with gray hot metal. Yes, exactly. And I mean, I just took that one out of the quench bucket, so theoretically it should be cool enough for me to touch. And I mean, like I said, it didn't actually give me any burns or anything like that, but it was still hot to the touch. Like I said, I always say black metal is incredibly dangerous in the shop because you never know whether it's hot or cold. And so always make sure that you use the back of your hand and hover it over black metal to kind of see if if there's any heat radiating off of it before you touch it. And I didn't do that, so that's on me. That is on me. But yeah, I mean, I've had some doozy shop injuries over the years of my years of being, a blacksmith, or even just when I was in school. I think my worst one was actually when I was in school. I was trying to open it was what was it? What do you call it? It was a zip tie. I was trying to get a zip tie off of a bundle of wire. It was a copper wire that I was trying to use for one of my projects. And instead of using a wire cutter to clip them, because I had a wire cutter on my desk, instead of that, I went and I grabbed my multi-tool out of my pocket, and I took the pocket knife part of it, and I went like this, and I went and slipped it, and I actually stabbed inside the webbing of my hand, half an inch deep. It was not pleasant, and I had to go to the nurse, and don't do that. Don't point knives at yourself when you're using them. Always point knives away from yourself so that you don't stab yourself. I mean, it's such a simple piece of advice. It's such a simple thing to remember, and yet, ouch. Yeah, it was not pleasant, not at all. So, I mean, at least I was fortunate enough that it didn't bleed profusely because there just aren't that many veins like in this area of the webbing between your thumb and forefinger. But it went pretty deep, and I mean, I still have the scar. Um, so always think before you do things, and don't go into the shop when you're stupid tired. That was kind of the thing. I had been in the shop for way too long at that point. I think I was on my 12th hour or something. It was ridiculous. And that is also kind of how I, established my 3 strikes and you're out rule. Because I had already made 3 mistakes that day, and my 4th one was the big one that I had to go to the school nurse, and they ended up gluing it gluing it shut and bandaging it up, sending me home, and yeah, it was not pleasant. So yeah, be careful in the shop. I really like this. I like this a lot. Still on the warm side, but definitely not burning hot. It's kind of, I feel like if I were to describe the heat in a way that you guys might understand, is it's, you know how you go to the Mexican restaurant and they give you the fajitas in that like little pan? Um, it's a little, it's like the same temperature of like the pan after you've eaten the fajitas. So it's been on your table for a while. It's still really hot, but it's not burning hot. I was sutured for 4 days by the medics. Now it's just bruised and healing. Oh, it was a recent thing. Man, I'm sorry. That's always sucks. I mean, it's a lot better, telling the stories of the scars that you already have, the pain that's, long in the past. But, current pain, yeah, I'm sorry. That sucks. Gotta say, not many Mexican restaurants in the UK. Okay, that makes sense. It probably is a much more American thing. But yeah, in the United States, they give us or you can order fajitas from the Mexican restaurant. It's basically long cut meat of your choice. So it's usually like chicken or shrimp or steak, and red and green bell peppers and onions. And it's in a sizzling cast iron pan, and they serve it to you in the cast iron pan, and then they have like a little wooden placemat thing on that they set it on so that you can move it around on the table and stuff, and you don't burn yourself. So yeah. If I'm gonna hurt myself, I'm gonna do it early and learn my lesson. I mean, see, the problem is with blacksmithing is like you can totally injure yourself, and you can do the same injury like a month later doing the same thing because that's like why I have this guy. I've got this orange Band-Aid because I was using my bench grinder to grind my hammer for the video, and I just slipped, and I got a bench grinder bite. And I can't tell you how many times I've gotten burns and grinder bites. It's just always happens. We have restaurants that do similar. You get some volcanic rock and raw steak and left to your own devices to cook it. That's that actually sounds really good because then you can make it medium or rare or like, however you want to make your steak. All the time, like I usually go to steakhouses and I'll tell them that I want medium rare, right? So, I like the hot pink, but I don't want, but I like the fibrous like texture. So like before you cook meat, it's got that like rubbery texture and that rubbery look. And then when you start cooking it, it gets that fibery texture. I like the fibery texture, but I like it when it's just barely at that fibery texture. And almost always I get it, and it's almost, you know, always burnt. It's like gray the entire way through, and I'm like, this is disgusting. It's so dry. Same. Yeah, I always want medium rare, and I always end up getting medium well. It sucks. Okay, what am I doing now? Oh, this one is my third twist. I'm gonna do the pineapple twist with this one because I didn't make the horizontal cuts in it. So our fourth twist will be the Rubik's Cube twist. So this is going to be the pineapple twist. So what we're going to do is we're going to twist it twice around. Then I'm going to come over to the anvil. I'm going to move the camera, and we are going to flatten out our piece of steel that we have just twisted. It kind of ruins it a little bit, but not too much. You'll still see the groove swirling around it. And then we're going to put in more grooves on each of the four sides. And then we're going to untwist it. Probably about a half a twist. We'll see. We'll see. So here we go. Wait, that's the wrong side. It's that side. Okay. And we are in focus. That's exciting. Do I have everything on the... Oh, I have an angle grinder on top of the thing, and I need to make sure that I can get to my stuffies, my bending bars. Okay. Twist that. All right, let's go. Clockwise again, because it's easiest to twist them all the same direction. That way I don't have to remember. All right, I think I'm gonna leave it there for now because this side is starting to cool down a little bit. I want to make sure that everything is nice and even for that twist. Okay. Got to start with an even twist. Heat that back up. Jet Pinky, welcome in. Thank you so much for that follow. I'm glad you could join us. We are doing twists today. Hey, Mahalo, welcome in. Looks like we're about to start an ad here shortly. And I think that I just got into the Forge just in time for the ad to come. So yeah. We have been doing twists. So far, we have done 2 twists. We have done a regular twist, and this is just like a basic twist. We did 2 times around with clockwise. So you know, if I use it this way, then it's counterclockwise. But if I use it this way, then it's clockwise. So you know, we can do whatever we need there. So for this one, what I did was I cut a groove vertically in all 4 sides, and then we did our 2 times around clockwise twist. So you can kind of see that line that we cut in there throughout the entirety of the piece. So this is our second type of twist. This is a fluted twist. It's a little bit more complicated than our basic twist. So for our third twist, we are doing an even more complicated twist. We're doing the pineapple twist. So basically, we've cut another groove, very similar to this guy, in our steel. We are going to do 2 times around clockwise, and then we are going to flatten it out and square it back up. So instead of allowing all of these, like, you know, twists in the corners, we're going to square it up again. And then after that, we are going to cut another groove the entire length of the bar. And then we are going to do a half twist counterclockwise. And what that's going to do is that's going to create raised diamond shapes throughout the bar. And I think that's going to look beautiful. Yes, I think that's going to look beautiful. And then, if we have time, we are going to do a 4th twist. And the 4th twist is going to be what I call a Rubik's Cube twist, and some other people call a staircase twist. So we're going to, once again, do those grooves the entire length of the bar. And then instead of doing a second set of grooves, we are going to actually do horizontal grooves. We're going to create little blocks that when we twist them, they'll turn into like little stairs and they'll start sticking out. And so that is our 4th twist. And then once we've got all of our twists completed, I'm going to show them all to you, and we are going to vote on which one we want to represent the eye for our Raise Smithy sign. And that's the one that I will hang up with the rest of the letters. See, I think it's going to be either the pineapple twist or the Rubik's Cube twist, but you guys could totally surprise me. All right, it looks like our ad is done. So I'm going to pull the material out of the forge and we're going to do we're going to start twisting again. And I want that side on my inset. Do I actually have, always wanted to do this, didn't know smithing was on Twitch. Hi Jet Pinky, welcome in. Yes, there is smithing on Twitch. There are actually a couple of different smiths on Twitch that you can find. Kira Nature is a smith, a husband and wife duo, and they are about 12 hours after, you know, my day is their night, so that's kind of how that works. So we don't really have the same time period. And then there are a couple other smiths. Okay. So we're going to continue to do a clockwise twist on this bar. Uh-oh. All right. I am going to do one more heat on this because it kind of twisted down in here. And I want to get like another half twist in here. I think that's going to look better when we do that untwisting pineapple. I want to get a little bit more of the, because the more of this initial twist, the more loops we have, the more of the diamonds we're going to get. So I think I want to do another at least half twist. So I'll put this back in the fire. But yeah, and then there's a couple other smiths that are on Twitch as well. And so Blacksmith Dan sometimes does some streams on the weekends. He doesn't save his streams as VODs, but he usually smiths on the weekends, so like Saturday or Sunday. And then there are a few knife makers here on Twitch as well. And so we've got John from Johnson, and he is a material reduction knife smith. He makes chef knives. He usually streams in the mornings, and then and these are all in U.S. times because that's my time zone, I guess. And then there's also Lone Mountain Knife, and he's also a knife maker, but he also makes Damascus pattern steel for his knives a lot of times. So sometimes you'll catch him when he's doing his grinding, and sometimes you'll catch him when he's making his patterns. And so that's really interesting to take a look at. I like to raid those people if I can manage it. Sometimes, they're on when I'm about ready to end my stream, and sometimes they're not. But yeah, I like to support my fellow Twitch blacksmiths. There are a couple more, and I'm not entirely sure if they still stream, but there are a few blacksmiths here on Twitch. I have the small canister, like a cup of water again today. I feel like I'm probably gonna need more water again, and my partner is not home today, so I don't know. I might have to take a small break to refill, depending on how thirsty I get. It's starting to get really warm in here today. So Jet Pinky, thank you so much for that follow. We have an amazing community here on Twitch, and I'm so happy to be here. I'm glad that you guys find my smithing entertaining. Starting to get a little bit tired doing these, because these twists are on 5/8 inch square stock. They're actually a lot more effort to do those twists than they would be if they were smaller. So it is taking quite a bit of effort, but that's all right. I don't stream tomorrow, so I will have an entire day to rest, and I will be back here on Wednesday, raring to go and make that T for my sign. We're doing Raise a Smithy. I've got the S and the M there, and we are currently working on the I. And this is going to be viewer's choice. Like I said, we're doing 4 twists. So far, we have half of our twist done. We have the regular twist and the fluted twist. So once we've finished all of these twists, I'm going to set up a poll, and you guys get to tell me which of these guys you want to see on the wall. You can build a tool that is designed for twisting and add different steps to it for different size stock. I can, but I don't do a lot of twisting, and when I do twisting, I do a lot of odd twists, so I don't actually have a twisting machine. So one of my favorite twists to do is actually with angle iron, right? So with your angle iron, you've got this like L shape. And let me see, I think I've got a small piece here somewhere in my stock. Let me show you. So my favorite twist is actually on a bar of, it's angle iron, right? So if you look at that it's got like a right angle as a profile. So my favorite thing to do is squish the center of the bar. And so I basically complete the fold and fold it all the way in half and then twist that section, right? So, and it creates an incredible looking twist. It is like a flat bar twist, but you've got that extra fold in, or that central fold line. It's gorgeous. I like to do that for furniture. I do the legs or like the legs that way. It's so much fun and it's a beautiful effect. Means you don't need to struggle with the 2 adjustables. Yeah, I mean, that's true. That's true. And I mean, I did actually go to Harbor Freight to get a pipe wrench. And I did get a hold of a pipe wrench, and I was going to, like, I was almost there. I was going to weld on another bar so that I could actually have a real twist bar. And I couldn't get myself to do it because it's just, the one that I had is just so heavy. I was afraid that it would like bend my material. So I decided that I was just going to use the 2 crescent wrenches because that's what I always use. And I know that it makes it hard on myself. It's just the way I like doing it. What material is this? Like mild steel or, okay, yes, it is mild steel. It is 1018. I buy it from the steel supply. It is the same type of steel that you find or that like it's construction grade steel. So like your steel girders and stuff is made of the same material. It is very pliable, and strong in large amounts. But it is also very easy to work with. So it is it's a low carbon steel, so I cannot make knives or any sharps with it. So when I am looking to do sharps, every once in a great while that I do them, I will actually specifically get a spring steel for that. So like this guy right here is a spring steel, and this is a rapier blade that I made a long time ago, so it's kind of rusty. But yeah, this is a spring steel. It's got a nice spring to it. So that's what I do when I'm doing sharps. But otherwise, I just use regular construction grade mild steel. It's a lot cheaper too. Okay, we're gonna do one more twist on this bar, and then I'm going to flatten it out so that we can take it back to the, I guess, the angle grinder and make more grooves in it to make those lovely diamond shapes for that pineapple twist. So let's do this. If I can get it out of my forge. That's why I show you guys the inset, so you guys can watch me struggle. Goodness gracious. Great balls of fire and all that. I think I turned this backwards, but that's all right. All right, I think I'm pretty good with that. We wanted that extra half a turn, and I got it. So now we still got a little bit of heat left in it, so we're going to take it over here to the anvil and straighten it out. I guess we don't really have to do this because we're going to come back over to the anvil and flatten it out anyway. But yeah, so that's it. It is now the same as our second twist. So now we are going to flatten this back out and turn it back to a square. But first, I'm going to move this brick. So it's a little easy to work with, or at least easier. A little easier to work with. Hopefully. Or maybe it won't be. There we go. Much more better. Okay, so I'm going to take these guys and I'm going to stick them over here for the moment. And then I'm going to move this guy over here as well. Then, yes, the forge. All right, so I am going to move the close-up camera from the post vise over to the anvil so you guys can watch me while I am flattening this back out and squaring it back up. All right, let's see if I can do this without making a giant disaster of cords and cabling. All right, I need that guy. And then I need to twist this whole thing so I don't get all screwy. Ugh, annoying. All right, well, I'm going to unplug that so that I can undo this. I've got some sketchy cabling going on back here because I moved my stuff around. Maybe if I do that. Okay, there's that. There's that. And I'm going to have to do this all over again when I take it back over to the... Okay, so now we are on the anvil. Back over to the vise in here in a second. So I think we're good with the other camera. So you guys should be able to see the anvil when I bring it over here to hammer it back flat. So we are going to use our 2-pound hammer because we don't have all that much material to move. And if it doesn't work as well as I want to, I guess we can change to the 3-pound hammer. I'd rather not because my shoulder is getting a little bit tired from all of this twisting. But we do what we gotta do. So we are almost at the 2-hour mark, which is very nice. So that means that we should theoretically, or we will have time to finish this pineapple twist, but I'm not sure. We might be able to go a little bit long and also do the Rubik's Cube twist. We'll kind of judge how it is, or like how much time we have left once we finish our pineapple twist. Depending on how much time we have left in my normal stream allotment and how I am feeling, or I myself am feeling. Earlier today, I was having a little bit of trouble breathing, but I feel okay right now. But I always feel okay when I'm, actually in the forge. I don't know. I think mentally, I just block out any, issues that I'm having. Until I get so exhausted that I can't anymore. But so I think I'm doing all right for the moment, and hopefully it stays that way. Okay, are we ready, guys? Let's flatten this out. And I think we're gonna go like that. That way you guys can see me. Oh wait, you know what? I forgot to hit record. I want to record this. Yes. There we go. Not hanging on to this well enough. There we go. Much better. And we're starting to flatten it out. It's not quite as flat as I want it to be, so we are going to turn it around and stick it back in the forge so we can get ourselves a nice square going. So we're going to continue and we'll square this back right back up. It looks like I didn't quite complete that last turn, but that's all right. We will definitely be able to manage to flatten it out, even if we have to, have those grooves in the corners. But we will definitely finish this pineapple twist today. I'm thinking that I probably am going to change to the other hammer. This guy. This is a favorite hammer of mine. It's a 3-pound cross-peen hammer. I've got a lot of power in this guy. I have no idea where this guy came from. It's just a piece of 1/4-inch square stock. Stick that down there for now. That's what I stick all of the stuff I don't know what else to do with. I stick it underneath in the underneath shelf of my post vise. And then I end up, struggling later with it. So once this guy is hot enough, we will continue to flatten out our bar so that we can put our second groove in it. So once we flatten it out, what we're going to do is we're going to bring it over to the quench bucket. We're going to make sure that it's nice and quenched, so that way I can, touch it and handle it without fear of burning. And then we're going to put that next set of grooves in there with the angle grinder. All right, I think we've got enough heat. Was that 1/4-inch stock what you used to make a rivet? This is 1/4-inch stock, and yes, this was what I used to make a rivet and I could totally tell that because this area right here is like tapered, and then you can see where I started to cut it off, and then I decided that I wanted to cut it a little shorter. So yeah, this was the rivet for our pair of bolt tongs that we did. Or is it from Spot and you picked it up and question where it came from? Repeat. Yes, that is totally what happens. But yes, I'm very impressed, Mahalo, that you were able to pick out where that came from. Good job. You guessed and it was right, and you're better at it than me. All right, let's see, where is the flat that I was using? Right here. Okay, we're getting there. I think I'm going to do one more heat on it just to make it a little bit more flat. And I'm going to probably do it this side just because I want to make sure that I get that bar, or the end of that bar, flat. So one more heat on that job. That's what it's That's what its new life is now. Yes, one more heat for that particular job. And then we're going to put those grooves in there. And then we'll do we'll untwist it a little bit. So then we'll get those diamond shapes in there. Diamonds. Because we're going to shine bright like a diamond. Although, you know, that's Rihanna, so I don't know. Maybe you guys aren't familiar with that song. Although I don't think Rihanna is the first person to use that lyric in a song either. So, you know, I'm sure it's familiar to you guys from someone, from somewhere. All right, and I am out of water. And I need some more water, so I am actually going to once again, I'm going to ask you to help me keep track of my forge while I go get water. Because it is hot, way hot in here. Stream manager. Okay. The forge. It's so hot. All right. Let's make sure that's in. Okay. Oh. Okay. I'm back. And I totally put the cap on upside down. Well, not upside down, but like backwards. So, you know, when I try to drink, I want to drink from this side. And it's over here, the hole for me to drink. All right. And I've got a hole in my lip. I think I just heard my phone go off. I'll bet you it's nothing important. Nah, it's nothing important. It's just social media notifications, man. Social media notifications. Everybody wants you all the time. All right. I am going to do one more heat flattening this out. And then we shall see about putting the rest of these grooves in here. All right. I think that's beautiful. I think that'll work very well. Okie doke. Now, into the quench tank we go. The water in the quench tank's getting really warm too. I am gonna do this. Wait, what direction is my microphone supposed to go? Is it supposed to go that way? I think that's the way. Okay. Put this back in the quench bucket so that it just gets a little bit, you can kind of hear it sizzling in there. There we go. And it is pretty darn cold now. Okay. Or, you know, that side of it is. And the other side is a little bit on the warm side still, so there we go. Much more better. And because I don't want to rust out all of my equipment, I am going to grab a paper towel from my paper towel rack over there and kind of dab off some of this water. So now we have a nice square again. You can kind of see if I go the 45 profile that you definitely have these bumpies. And these bumpies are actually going to turn into our diamond shapes for our pineapples. LOL, it was still smoking. It was still smoking. Okay, so we're going to move back over here. Those over there. And then, you know what? I need this again. All right. We are going to put these grooves back in here. And I think it'll be all right. Let me see about taking this guy. And I'm going to use... Somehow, this has gotten a little bit fatter. Or like longer, I guess. Not entirely sure how that worked. Maybe it's because when I squished it down. That makes some sense, right, guys? When I squished it down, it made it longer. Because, you know, blacksmithing and, you know, forging and stuff. It's a thing that happens. All right. I'm going to cut in these grooves. With the angle grinder. Two more grooves. 2 more grooves. One more groove. Last one, and then we'll heat it up again. Ugh. Alrighty. And if I send it over here, you guys can kind of see that. We've got extra grooves cut in there. So back in the forge we go. Okay, so these guys can come over here. And I'm thinking that this is probably where we're going to end the stream with the pineapple twist. Starting to get a little bit on the tired side. My back's a little bit in a little bit of pain, but I think it'll be all right. It's going to take me a couple heats to do this twist, I think, maybe. Yeah. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what this guy looks like. That over there. But yeah, I think I'm probably going to end the stream after this pineapple twist. Now, I've got 2 questions for you guys. Which direction is this guy? I don't know. Anyway, okay, so I have 2 questions for you guys. Question number 1. Do you guys still want to do the Rubik's Cube twist? I think that I can do both the Rubik's Cube twist and the T. I can do the I and the T at the same time. So that would be the Rubik's Cube twist and the, what is it called? It has a name and I totally forgot it. The Frederick's Cross. I can do those probably at the same time. Do you want to see them both? And then if that is the case, if you want to see them both, then I will postpone deciding which is going to be the real I for the sign. But my other question is, which do you like, or, you know, is going to be which do you guys like the best as far as all of these twists that we've done? And so the first question is the most important, I think. Do you guys still want to see the Rubik's Cube twist, and do you want to see that on Wednesday when we are doing the Friedrich's Cross? We'll kind of do both projects at once. I think I can manage that. Or do you guys, you know, are you satisfied with the 3 that we've got, and then you guys want to vote on that? The cube sounds cool. Okay, Ping wants to see the cubic twist, or the Rubik's Cube twist. So, is everybody else in agreement? We want to do both the Rubik's Cube and the Friedrich's Cross on Wednesday. I can probably do that. So, I mean, it's more content. I think I'll do it. 3 you have sound good too. Yeah, let's see the cube twist. Okay, we'll do the cube twist. We'll start that on on Wednesday, I'm probably, I'm going to put the grooves in to the Rubik's Cube twisted bar, or like the bar that I'm going to use for the Rubik's Cube twist. So we're going to start with the first set of grooves, and then I will show you how to put, or how I go about putting in the measured cube horizontal cuts in there. And then we will also do the Friedrich's cross. And so basically what a Friedrich's cross is like, instead of doing a full groove on a bar similar to this, you'd actually cut all the way through, half this direction and half the opposite direction. So you take a 90-degree turn. And you're basically unfolding that, and it turns into a cross. So I will give you a much more detailed explanation of that on Wednesday. So it's gonna be a fun day on Wednesday. We're gonna get a lot done. Need a little bit more time on this pineapple twist, on this piece of steel, to make sure it's good and hot. Cool. Yes. So I'm glad that you guys are interested in seeing all of these, because I think it's gonna be fun. I think they're gonna look really pretty, and we'll see which one you guys like the best. It has been a day. We've done a lot of work today. We've gotten, we've almost gotten 3 twists all the way done. And, that's a decent amount of work. So we'll get this all taken care of. So one side of the bar is nice and hot. I'm going to turn it around and put it back in the forge backwards, so that I get heat all the way through it on both sides, so that the whole thing twists properly. It's going to take me a second to kind of figure it out. I think that I can just do a counterclockwise twist, and I don't think that it matters which side, or if I flip it around or not. Pretty sure it's still a counterclockwise turn. I hope. Let's look at this bar. All right, so if this is clockwise, is this also clockwise? Yes, it is. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna twist counterclockwise, no matter which side of the bar we start on. I'm really bad with with clockwise and counterclockwise, mostly because I have this thing where there's this common saying in the United States where it's righty tighty lefty loosey, and it's kind of it weirds me out, because if you're tightening it, it's usually clockwise, but it's right on the top, but it's left on the bottom of the circle when you twist it, right? So, you've got your right, but this is also going left. And then the same vice versa, loosening is usually counterclockwise, and it's left this side and right that side, or, it's very confusing to my poor little brain. And I mean, it seems very simplistic, but I don't know. Something about it, I find it difficult. And because I've explained it so many times, it seems simplistic. And then I get to it, and I'm trying to open a jar of salsa, and I totally forget again. All right. I'm going to move this camera back over to the post vise, and then we're going to get all nice and started on this pineapple twist, the pineapple section of this pineapple twist. Pineapples. if I can manage to make this work. All right. In my head, I keep thinking coconuts, and I'm like, or I keep mistaking coconuts and pineapples, and I don't know. I want to be all like, you put the lime in the Coke or the coconut and drink them both together, and yeah, that's kind of weird. I don't know why my brain is going that way. Okay, there we go. All right. Maybe it's because I'm starting to get tired. Okay. Let's see. If I do this, then I can do that. And then you guys should be able to see everything that I do. I have all my things ready to go. All right. So we are going to, why is it? Okay. Twisting backwards. All right. Now I've done about a half a twist. And so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of all of the scale. I'm going to take a look at it. Am I happy with this? Or should I go further? I could probably go a little bit further if I wanted to. But I don't know. I think I need to go just a little bit further. Not much. Whoops, there went my... There we go. There we go. Should be all, whoops, nice and lined up now. Awesome, awesome. And we've got our pineapples in here. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to cool this all off, and I'm going to show it to you. All right. No, it's still a little bit high. Okay, there we go. All right. And this is our Rubik's Cube twist. Excellent. I'm actually pretty happy with this guy. And then I'm going to show it to you in the other camera so you guys can kind of see it. Ouch, that's kind of hot. So hopefully you guys can see that. You can kind of see the little diamonds that have been made in that twist. So I think that looks very nice. So that is our third twist. Does the quench lid serve a purpose? No. Well, I mean, it does serve a purpose to get in my way. But it is a cat litter bin. And I mean, I guess it does technically serve a purpose that I may or may not need. And that purpose would be to prevent my quench bucket from evaporating. So when I have, like, I can keep the water in there for a very, very long time if I keep it closed like that, because it's semi-airtight. It's an old cat litter bucket. However, like, it does get in my way when I quench the stuff. So, I mean, with or without the lid, it works. But with the lid, I kind of have, or it prevents evaporation. So I can keep the same water longer. I mean, sometimes that's good, sometimes it's bad. Eventually, I will get new fresh water, but it seems to be working so far. So, yeah. But yeah, we now have 3 different twists that we've made. And I will post a picture of these guys on Instagram so you guys can take a look at them a little bit closer, because I know that it's pretty far away, even from the close-up camera. So yeah, I'll post a picture of them on Instagram and we can show you what they look like. So we've got a 4th bar here that we're going to do a 4th twist. It's going to be a Rubik's Cube twist. And we will do that on Wednesday. So we'll probably end it here for the day. Do you guys have anybody that you would like to raid? Is there anybody out there that's streaming and you guys want to see or watch? Otherwise, I will take a look and see who's around. We've kind of been streaming a little bit shorter recently, and part of that is because I'm still not completely recovered, I feel like, from just being ill the last couple weeks. So I'm kind of trying to work my way up to getting back to the point where I can do a 3-hour stream when I want to. But yeah, I'll probably raid out, and if there's anybody you'd like to raid, let me know. Otherwise, I will take a look, see who's around. But yeah, we are done for the day. All right. Thank you guys all for joining me today. It has been so much fun, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. All right, let's see who is around. Are you gonna let me pop up a Twitch so I can see who's up? Pyripherus is up. Do you guys want to watch some? Do you guys want to watch some woodworking? Great shirt, by the way. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it is Thundercats. Yeah. Thank you so much for the follows, guys. And thank you for joining me today. The Thundercats. Thunder, thunder, thunder. Once upon a time, it would let me raid, but it's not wanting me to let me raid. I wonder if I can do okay. How do I spell that? I'm totally gonna run out of time again on my end screen, aren't I? There we go. We're gonna raid Pyripherus. Thank you guys so much for joining me today.